For 70 years, commercial fishermen have pulled king crabs from the Bering Sea. Millions of crabs caught, weighed, and recorded. But today, that entire history is about to be rewritten.
Deep beneath the ice-covered surface, 450 feet down in total darkness, a king crab so massive that scientists will call it biologically anomalous.
The biggest king crab ever recorded weighed 24 pounds with a carapace width of 10.6 inches. That record has stood for 18 years. It's about to fall. The Bering Sea in February, air temperature minus 28 degrees, water temperature 29 degrees, winds gusting to 60 knots, the deadliest workplace on Earth. This is the Northern Viking, 180 feet of steel. Captain Erik Johansen and his crew of 9 have fished these waters for 15 combined decades. Captain Erik Johansen, 42 years hunting king crab, survivor of 3 shipwrecks, mentor to 50 fishermen. In 4 decades, he's never seen what's waiting in his pots today. 9 men signed on for this 30-day king crab season. The youngest on his first trip, the oldest on perhaps his last. None of them will ever forget what happens today. Since commercial king crab fishing began in 1947, over 2 billion crabs have been caught and measured. The giant found today will stand alone among them all. This trip cost $400,000 before catching a single crab. Fuel, bait, ice, crew advances, insurance. They need 100,000 pounds of king crab just to break even. A Category 3 Arctic storm is 22 hours away. When it arrives, 40-foot seas and 80-knot winds will make fishing impossible for 5 days. They have one chance to haul their pots. 2:30 a.m. in crew quarters. The temperature inside is 35 degrees. Outside it's minus 28. Today begins 18 hours of continuous work in conditions that test human limits. 8 layers of protection against the Bering Sea. Thermal underwear, wool, fleece, neoprene, Gore-Tex. Fall overboard without this system and hypothermia kills you in 3 minutes. Ice accumulation overnight added 8,000 pounds to the vessel, enough weight to affect stability. Breaking ice is the first job every Arctic morning or the vessel sinks. The hydraulic hauler generates 12,000 pounds of pulling force, but in minus 28 temperatures, seals freeze, oil thickens, systems fail. Everything must be tested before they reach the pots. 250 pots set 5 days ago across 40 square miles of ocean floor. Each pot costs $800. Losing one to equipment failure or storms costs more than most people make in a month. I've mapped the safest route for retrieval. Pot number 147, set at exactly 452 feet deep over a specific historical data shows this exact location has produced 5 of the 10 largest king crabs Erik has ever caught.
Look at this. What in the world is that? Captain, what is it?
Guy for it now!
Is that real? Suiting up, Captain.
The density around pot 147 is off the charts.
It's confirmed, something massive's down the mess.
Sonar shows a density reading around pot 147, which is that king crab. 8 miles to pot 147 through building seas. The crew prepares gear while the vessel battles 15-foot swells and freezing spray that turns to ice before hitting the deck. Captain Erik shows his crew the logbook. At this exact location, he caught a 22-pound king crab in 2019.
Look at these, 23 pounds.
Exactly, giants every time. The crew's reactions vary. Veteran fishermen are cautiously optimistic, the rookies openly excited. But everyone feels it. Today is different. This briefing is the same every trip. But today, no jokes. Overloaded pots in rough seas, they lead to accidents happen. When men go overboard. When people die. The storm has accelerated. 18 hours have been closing. They need to haul all 250 pots before it arrives or abandon for abandoned their pot. Bans crab, lost cried. Boys, my pot, touch me parts, boys!
First buoy spotted in heavy seas, pot number 1 of 250. Each pot takes 4 minutes to haul. The hauler engages and the operation begins. 146 pots before they reach the one that will change their lives. The marathon haul starts now. Pot 1 surfaces with 35 legal king crabs totaling 280 pounds, a solid start worth $1,400 at dock. This is how crab fishing usually works. Professional, efficient, predictable. Every crab is measured. Legal males measuring 6.5 inches or larger kept, everything else returned alive. Alaska fishing regulations are strictly enforced to protect king crab populations. The crew finds their rhythm. Pot every 4 minutes. Haul, sort, measure, rebait, redeploy. Hours blend together in the cold as they work toward pot 147. The fishing is excellent even by Bering Sea standards. Running average of 40 crabs per pot, nearly all legal size, perfect quality. This would be a great trip even without what's coming. Pot 50. 4 hours of continuous work complete. The crew has pulled 2,000 legal king crabs worth $80,000. Still 90 plots in pot 147.
Go! Einkeil!
Ici, Melchior. This is one Galaxy outboard. This safety line current Grover, it is any profession.
Hydraulic seal failure in the extreme cold. The engineer has replacement seals, but repairs take 20 minutes. 20 minutes closer to the storm, 20 minutes of lost fishing time. Conditions deteriorate steadily. 18-foot seas, 35-knot winds, spray freezing instantly. The storm is still 14 hours away, but its advance guard is already here.
Pot 100 is ours. 2/3 to 1/3. Yes. High five. 3,000. Friction correct. Pot onwards.
Exhaustion is real, but anticipation carries them forward. Captain Eric checks the GPS every 5 minutes, 47 pots to go. In 42 years of fishing, he's never felt anticipation like this. The underwater camera images are seared into his memory.
No way Pot 147 has a monster crab. We've seen it all.
Come on, the Bering Sea always surprises you.
Kid, the camera was wrong. No crab gets that big.
But what if it is? That would be amazing.
Dream on.
Current catch stands at 60,000 pounds, worth $240,000, already enough to cover trip expenses with profit. Pot 147 is pure bonus fishing now. 9 hours of continuous work in minus 28 wind chill. Hands are numb even through insulated gloves, faces are frost-nipped, exhaustion sets in. But nobody suggests stopping. First meal break after 9 hours. Hot soup and coffee that will be frozen again in their bellies within minutes of returning to deck. 10 minutes of warmth, then back to the ice.
All right, let's make it quick.
Pot 140, sets and pots from history. The crew's pace increases unconsciously. Even the most skeptical veterans are checking the navigation screen to see how close they are. Captain Eric reviews the underwater footage one final time. The image doesn't lie. Something enormous is at Pot 147, but his experience makes him cautious. Cameras can distort. Perspective can deceive. It can't be real. Pot 144 is normal. Excellent fishing, standard-sized crabs, professional operation. 3 more pots before everything changes forever.
Storm update 10 hours and accelerating.
Captain Eric makes the decision. Haul Pot 147, then decide whether for remaining pots or run for safety. We haul 147, then we decide.
Pot 146 surfaces 1 pot before 147. The crew works in complete silence. No jokes, no banter, just the howl of Arctic wind and the hydraulic groan of the hauler. There, Pot 147's buoy visible 200 yards ahead. The entire crew moves to the rail. Nobody speaks. The only sound is wind, waves, and 9 hearts pounding. Captain Eric's 42 years of experience show perfect approach despite 18-foot seas. The buoy is gaffed. Now they're connected to whatever waits 452 feet below. The hauler engages, and immediately the crew knows something is different. The line weight is extraordinary. The hauler is pulling maximum capacity just for the line. Hydraulic pressure at 95% of maximum, higher than it's ever been. Either the pot is snagged on bottom, or what's inside weighs more than any pot they've ever pulled. 452 feet, 400, 350, the pot rises slower than any pot in their experience. Whatever is coming up is fighting gravity with massive weight. At 200 feet, sonar catches the pot. The return signal is so dense the operator initially thinks it's a second pot tangled with the first. Nothing biological should show that density. At 100 feet, a shadow appears. Too large, too dark for any pot they've ever seen. The rookie crew member crosses himself. The veterans just stare in silence.
Look at the size of those crabs! The whole pot is full! This is impossible! There!
Pressed against the wire mesh is a king crab so large that the crew falls silent after their initial shout. For 5 seconds, nobody breathes.
The surrounding king crabs are large, 8 to 10 pounds, premium commercial size. The giant's carapace alone is wider than 2 of them placed side by side. The crane lifts the pot, and the hydraulic cylinders groan audibly. The pot weighs over 900 pounds, nearly double the maximum design load, but nobody's thinking about safety limits. The pot hits deck so hard the vessel shudders, 900 pounds of crab and steel on a rolling ship. The crew converges from every station. The engineer abandons the engine room. Everyone must see this. Captain Eric leaves the bridge for the first time in 10 hours. In 42 years of fishing, he's never abandoned his post during hauling. This is that important. 9 faces showing 9 reactions: disbelief, awe, joy, nervous laughter. The rookie fisherman has tears in his eyes. The 58-year-old veteran on his last season says it's the greatest moment of his career. Opening the pot carefully, 850 pounds of king crab pour onto the sorting table. 48 legal-sized crabs, each one worth $50, but nobody is looking at them. The giant is isolated in the pot corner, 2 crew members protected as 850 pounds of crab flow past. This specimen is worth more than money now. This is history. The first measurement attempt fails.
The standard 10-inch crab gauge is too small. The giant's carapace extends beyond the tool's maximum measurement range.
All right, strategy. One on each claw, one on the body. Those claws are no joke. We need to be perfect.
Exactly. Will be standard to extract this crab.
Those claws could crush bone.
Each claw requires one man to control. The claws measure 14 inches from hinge to tip. The crushing force they generate could snap bone like dry twig. 3 grown men strain to lift this single crab. The weight is immediately obvious. Over 25 pounds. More than 10 pounds above the previous world record. On deck in full view, the complete leg span revealed for the first time. 7 feet from claw tip to claw tip. The crew steps back involuntarily at the sheer impossible scale. 10 seconds of complete silence, even the Arctic wind seems to quiet. 10 people staring at something that shouldn't exist, that defies 70 years of biological data. Official documentation begins. This is no longer commercial fishing. This is scientific discovery. Multiple cameras, official measurements, witnesses. This record must be unimpeachable. Official measurement protocol requires certified tools, multiple witnesses, photographic documentation from every angle, and GPS coordinates. This will withstand scientific scrutiny.
Documenting now.
Careful now, get the widest point. Locked in. 12.2, let me verify. Up to upper 10.6 inches. The Pricky has the record with 15%. 12.2 inches!
No way, let me see.
That's insane! High five!
It's 12.2.
We're part of history now!
Carapace length measures 9.8 inches. The proportions are consistent with a king crab, just 25% larger in every dimension. This isn't a deformity, this is natural extreme growth. Leg span requires the longest tape measure aboard. From tip to tip, this crab spans 6 feet 4 inches. You could stand it up and look it in the eye. The major claw measures 16 inches by 7 inches. An independent biomechanics expert later estimates this claw generates 3,200 pounds per square inch of crushing force. Weight is the critical measurement. The previous record of 24 pounds has stood since 2006. The scale is certified accurate to 0.1 pounds. No margin for error. 3 men lift the giant to the scale. You can see the effort even with 3 grown men. The digital display begins climbing. 15 pounds,
20 pounds, 24 pounds.
28.7 pounds.
The scale confirms what their arms already knew.
Based on shell condition and growth patterns, marine biologists will later estimate this crab is between 35 and 40 years old, ancient by king crab standards. The deep brick red color indicates extreme age and exceptional health. Younger crabs are orange-red. This coloring tells biologists this crab has been growing for decades. The shell tells its 40-year survival story. Scars from predator attacks, healed cracks from battles with other crabs, barnacle attachments from years on the ocean floor. The underwater camera captured the giant entering the pot, footage showing its massive leg span pushing aside 6 regular crabs as it moved toward the bait.
Satellite link established, ready to proceed.
Confirmed. Collect the gill sample now.
Sample collected and secured. Excellent. Transmission complete.
Exact coordinates recorded, 61,452 feet. Water temp, 29.1 degrees Fahrenheit. This location will be studied extensively. Complete photographic documentation, 72 high-resolution images from every angle, with scale references, measurements visible, crew as witnesses, a permanent historical record. Video documentation captures the living giant, claws moving, legs flexing, demonstrating the vitality of this 40-year-old specimen in perfect health.
I'm Mike Reynolds, licensed 5 store. Based on your entries, we started about 13 pound, 12, 18, 17 pound food for dares.
The tuna was 13 feet long, over 7 hot staff.
Dr. Kozlowski, photos are coming through now. It's massive.
I'm seeing them. This is truly significant.
Understood. We'll preserve the site.
Thank you. This is history.
At $50 per pound, this crab is worth $14.35.
Significant money for working fishermen. But Captain Eric hasn't made his decision based on money.
All right, crew, what do we do with this giant crab?
It's too big for the market. We should release it.
I agree. Let it go. Yeah, release it. It's settled. Release the giant crab. This crab is worth more to science alive than to restaurants dead. Its DNA could reveal secrets about maximum king longevity and growth. By releasing it, we contribute to conservation research.
These giants are the most successful genetics. Releasing them ensures their genes stay in the population, producing more healthy large crabs for future generations.
In 42 years, I've seen king crab populations crash and recover. Taking everything today means nothing tomorrow. Sport fishermen release trophy fish as a matter of honor. The largest, strongest, oldest specimens return to ensure future exceptional catches. Travels, buddy, to the sea.
The documentation will be shared worldwide. Photos, video, measurements. This discovery belongs to science and to the public. The story of the largest king crab ever recorded begins to spread.
4 men carry the giant to the rail not because they must, but because they want to honor this ancient survivor with their full attention and care. Over the rail, for the last time, human hands touch this ancient creature. Then it belongs to the sea again, where it has lived for 40 years. Released, the giant hits the water and immediately descends. Those massive legs working perfectly, pulling it back toward the darkness 452 feet below. Silence for a full minute. 10 tough Bering Sea fishermen watching the spot where the giant disappeared, each processing what they just witnessed and chose to do.
Some things belong to the ocean, not to us. That giant earned its freedom 40 years ago. We were just privileged to witness it for a moment. An underwater camera captures the giant's descent, 452 feet down, returning to the cold darkness it's called home for 4 decades. Free again.
This is it, the full documentation.
Incredible, these images are clear.
Look at this. We need to share this now.
Within hours, marine biologists responded.
This will change everything.
The storm closes fast, wind gusts to 55 knots, seas building to 25 feet. The crew races against time to finish the final pots before conditions become lethal. Pot 250, the final pot of this historic trip, surfaces in building storm conditions.
Now front to car, let's go! Deck cleared, gear lashed down. All hands below, good order.
All gear secure fishing is done. Now they must survive the run to port through the approaching storm. Running for port at maximum speed, 12 knots through building 30-foot seas, racing the storm that's 3 hours behind them.
Look at this claw span. It was right there.
I was on the port side. It moved so fast.
In the video, its legs are scraping the deck. We were all there. Unbelievable. The storm catches them 20 miles from port, but Northern Viking and her crew handle it with professional competence. This crew has survived worse.
Final catch total, 95,000 pounds worth $380,000. One of the best commercial catches of the season. And they released the most valuable catch of all.
The story spreads globally. Within 12 hours, news of the giant king crab discovery reaches 50 million people across 40 countries. The crew becomes instant celebrities.
Port appears through storm spray. After 30 days at sea and the most extraordinary fishing day in Bering Sea history, home never looked better. An unprecedented crowd waits at the dock. News of the record crab and the ethical decision to release it has made this crew heroes in the fishing community.
The crew emerges to applause, not just for the commercial success, but for making a choice that put conservation and respect for nature above immediate profit.
So proud. Daddy, you're home. No.
I'm here, buddy. I'm right here.
I miss you so much.
I missed you too, sweetie. I'm home now.
That crab survived 40 years in the Bering Sea.
It deserved to live 40 more, $1,400.
Captain, what about the financial impact?
This is about more than money.
It's a values issue.
Dr. Kozlowski begins DNA analysis. This sample will contribute to understanding maximum king crab growth potential and inform conservation strategies for years to come. The record is officially registered, carapace 12.2 inches, weight 28.7 pounds. The largest king crab ever recorded, documented on February 14th, 2026.
This discovery of exceptional specimens is unprecedented, forces us to reassess our data.
Exclusive is the first person population recorded.
We must integrate this into our conservation strategies. I'm excited to announce our new partnership with the University of Alaska. My vessel, the Northwind, will treat the giant crab. This is our commitment to science and the ocean's future. Crew shares are distributed. $42,000 per person for 30 days in the Bering Sea. Dangerous work, but it supports families and communities along the Alaska coast.
The capture location receives special designation. Alaska Fish and Game will monitor this specific area to understand what conditions support exceptional growth.
The story inspires the next generation. Thousands of students study this discovery in marine biology classes, learning that conservation and commercial fishing can coexist. Commercial fishing remains the deadliest profession. 115 fishermen lost in Bering Sea waters since 2000. Every successful return home is a gift.
In 4 decades, I've caught 3 million king crabs. The one I released is the one remembered forever.
A permanent record plaque installed at the Alaska Sea Life Center, ensuring this discovery and the ethical choice that followed are remembered for generations. The Bering Sea remains one of Earth's most productive marine ecosystems. Sustainable fishing practices ensure both economic prosperity and ecological health for the future. This is the giant king crab found, the biggest crab ever recorded, discovered, documented, and returned to the deep where it belongs. The ocean still holds secrets waiting to be found by those who